healing requires stillness. Right? And so, in the hospital they say you can visit from this time to this time, but otherwise, and then some people, okay. So, so when you go to the hospital, or, they say, they have a sign, right? And they say you can only visit between this time and that time because patients need time, quiet time, still time for healing. So if you're saying that you're in a healing process and you're continuing to do busy here, running here, doing this, doing that, it's impossible for you to be in a healing process. True healing requires stillness so that you can reflect, because you're not only healing from what you are aware of, you're healing from things that you're not even aware of. And that requires reflection. That requires stillness, right? So if you're in a healing, you have to carve out that time to really be with yourself. A lot of people are really afraid to be with themselves. Really are. You find that here, there, everywhere, they're the most busiest people, and they're always talking about they're so busy and they got so much on their plate and so much. The reality of it is that they are afraid to be by themselves, because that requires reflection. That requires you looking at, well, what am I doing that I'm so busy that I can't really give time to myself? If you cannot give time to yourself, reflect. Because you're the gift to yourself. And you have to make sure that you take the time to be with yourself. And sometimes it's scary because sometimes you have to deal with, I'm really short. I really don't have much patience, even with myself, I really don't listen to people, right? I hear them, but I don't listen to them, right? Because I'm always thinking about what I want to say about what they're telling me, because I have a better experience and I have something that they need to hear, right? Instead of really being still and listening, right? You're listening not to defend, but you're listening to understand, right? Say that to a lot of the couples that I work with. You're listening to understand. That's all. The other person ain't got nothing to do with you right now, right then, okay? So what I say about healing?
Requires stillness.
It requires stillness. And there's something, that busyness is like a cough. There's an African proverb that said, a man cannot conceal his illness if he's coughing. A man who's coughing cannot conceal his illness, right? So if you're busy running around, those who have eyes, they'll say, you have eyes to see, ears to hear, right? If you have eyes to see, you can see that person is busy because of something internal that they don't want to deal with. Like the man with the cough, that busy person is like a cough, right? So, we know, gosh, what's going on in our world today? A lot, right? A lot is going on, and we thought the pandemic was something. We thought, well, woo, we haven't been through this kind of thing. But look at what we are going through. And I really believe that some of the times, like what we went through in the pandemic, remember it was a time of stillness, right? It was really a time of healing. And we are able to endure some of what's happening right now because we took the time to be still. That was preparation for what we are experiencing right now, right? So, Babaluaiye is an Orisha, of course, that's recognized within the Ifa Orisha pantheon, part of the West African religious practice, mostly around amongst the Yoruba people, the Fon people, the Ewe people, and throughout Africa, really. You go all over Africa and you find practitioners of Orisha Ifa. And in the diaspora, of course, we know many of the Africans who came to the Americas were Yoruba people, Ewe people, Fon people, and they're the people who really recognized the Orisha, such as Babaluaiye. Let's see. I did that. So I said Babaluaiye is a time of balance and disease, right? Smallpox, he's known very much for smallpox. All the abonas, right? We call the obona. All those diseases that come out on the skin, right? Even acne, really, those kind of things that come out. All of those are part of the obona, part of Babaluaiye. But he's also about healing, very much so about healing. And if we've talked about some of the stories about Babaluaiye before, and we know some people shun Babaluaiye, that's not, but he is really about healing. And if you remember some of the stories, he was exiled, he was different when he was born, very, very different, and eventually exiled out of his community, and he lived in the forest for a while, in the woods, and he learned medicine, and he learned how to fight and defend themselves, and he was younger brother of Baine, what's it, Baine? No, not Baine. Of Shango and Baina, what I forgot the name. But he was a brother of Shango, so you see Shango there, and he also works with Ajay, because at one time Ajay went into the forest as well. And he learned to heal, but what happened was, when he returned because society was just desolated. People were dying. It was just a lot of socio-political stuff going on, and people really needed healing, so he came back. But when he came back, he came into a situation where there were a lot of fake people. There were a lot of people saying, don't do this, don't do that, and they were taking a lot of money from the community. And he was totally against taking advantage of humanity. He's a God that works to uplift humanity. And so he started clearing out all of that stuff, and then he started practicing. And people started believing in him, because before he left, people did not believe in him because he couldn't manage himself. He couldn't manage his anger. He couldn't manage his mouth, right? So he was getting into a lot of trouble. But when he came back matured, because he went into the forest. He went into the woods to do what? To be still. To be still. And that's when you learn. And that's why certain rituals like the morning ground rituals and the vision quest, those are so powerful, because first of all, you got to deal with the demon inside you. You got to break that down, and then they begin to teach you. Okay? So, Babaluaiye means Lord, Monarch, Father of the world. And some of the names for him is Obaluaiye, Oluaiye, Shapana, Shapata, Obaluaiye, Omalu, and other names, right? Baba, you jump in anytime you're ready, okay? Yeah, I'm not going in order here. So, let's see, what else can I tell you about Babaluaiye, and then we'll pose the question. He grew in his compassion. So these are some values that he's teaching us: to be kind, to be patient, to be compassionate, right? And during this time, this season is a stillness season, right? So most of us, like I try to do my major shopping before it gets really, really cold, so I don't have to be outside. So this is a time of stillness, and we have to plan for the stillness. One of the things that I've already started looking into for us is how do we preserve items, right? Without the refrigerator, right? So I'm looking at how who does it the best that we are aware of. And I'm looking into some of the Africans' way of doing it too, but who knows who in this society. Yeah, it's coming. The Amish, the Amish. They are experts of it. And so we need to learn, and I'm encouraging you, because remember last year we told you all about the herbs, right? We started naming all the herbs and planting all the herbs last year. And now this year it's coming that we really need to be up on these herbs. And I'm telling you, learn how to preserve some food, not in the refrigerator, right? So they know how to preserve rice. They know how to preserve flour. They know how to preserve beans, meats and fruits and vegetables and all these kind of things for years and years and years. And they're planning for 10 to 20 years in preserving things, right? We want to keep things 3 months, right? After 3 months we start to recycle. So it's very, very important.
Now, ancestors used to do that here.
Yeah, yeah.
They would do it through canning and storing food, food places.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, I just finished reading a book. It was called Good Dirt. And I didn't know that in South Carolina, the enslaved people were known for their pottery. But they made these big pots, and they put food down in
the
those
earth.
pots, on these earthen pots.
And they used to put it down in the earth.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I am also looking into some of how they're doing it in Africa. But what I found is that they are actually relearning those traditions. So this, and when you think about it, it's very important. That's why we have this world. Because some of the things that we may have lost, somebody else knows how to do it, and then we can learn from them. Right? Even though we are the janitors of all this stuff, right? We have lost some things.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody else may know how to do it. You know, and so we've got to be open. So I'm the Amish people, yes. Yes, and I'm encouraging you to learn how to do it, because if you're doing vegetables and you're doing fruit and you're doing starch and you're doing this, and what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come and eat, but we can take care of each other.
Yes.
We all can do the same thing, and that's why I gave all of you some of the time and some of the. When I came back from California, I was sick and I don't know what. I didn't even need to go outside. I could pick right in my house and make my teas and everything, right? So.
One of the things here that you talk about stillness and being calm. The winter time is a perfect time for stillness. When you think about the spring, everything is coming out. In the summer, it's like the heat of summer. But in the fall, going into the winter, which is what we're into now, is the perfect time that you would go internally and see what it is that you need to do. How is it that you need to do things in preparation for the spring and in preparation for the summer. So really encourage you to take this time that the same thing he is talking about, to be still. To be still and kind of like bring your energies into focus and maybe manifest. The winter time is also a time when things are like underground. The earth is underground. There's stuff that's not, it looks like it's not growing. But in the springtime, you see all this big bloom. So now is at the time that we want to make that big bloom for the spring that's coming up. So to just really make sure you condense your time.
Because that requires energy. You know, the springtime, you gotta spring into it. You gotta, it's a lot of work.
It's almost like in the winter, the world is asleep.
Yeah.
The trees, they just lose all their leaves and everything is asleep. There's no heat. Everything is calm and everything is sleep. And that's the ideal time to meditate, to pray, to sit and listen.
To gain back some of that energy that you're going to need. It's also a time, the stillness in a healing space will also help with your mental. Because we know that this is often a time where people get depressed, right? And,
Yes.
I used to have a lot of problem with, when it gets dark
Yeah.
and
Oh.
Yeah.
seasonal depression.
Yeah. So some of the implements that's sacred to Babaluaiye is the ibale. Ibale is the coquille broom. Chains. You see the chain there? Can y'all see the chain?
Yep.
It's called Iwan or Ewan.
What's the significance of the chains?
So that's an excellent question. It's something that he uses. This is why they say when you're doing Babaluaiye, once you set up, you shouldn't be cleaning and sweeping and all of that.
Right.
You shouldn't be doing a lot in the daytime either.
Right.
You save the evening time when the sun goes down to do your work. He uses the chain, but you can't drag it because that squeaking sound of dragging it is what is taboo for him. So he would use his chain to bind up those in our society who aren't practicing Iwa Pele. Okay. So you'd also see other metal objects, like guns. You'll see cowrie shells, and I think that's because representing his relationship, like with Ajay. Camwood. You'll see that red cloth, and food that are special. We have the. Do we have what is it called? In the palm wine. See if we have palm wine so we can get him some. Palm wine, palm oil, other, did we have it? Do you know? Other palm tree things, that's what he likes. Cornmeal, beans, bitter leaf. When you're dealing with him, you don't eat a lot of stuff with salt and hot pepper. You keep things, and again, don't scrape or scratch metal objects when you're working with Babaluaiye. And the arrow is medicine. It's also called Eba or Abba, something like that. So what is he? Right, so you can open some of that, pour some outside and pour some here. So he brings longevity, prosperity, all the ire. He helps us balance our relationships, our health, and victory over adversaries, and success with all that we put our hands to do. Do not ignore or neglect anyone, and that's very important. Do not ignore or neglect anyone. Okay? Everyone has a right to be seen. When you come into a space, you greet the house owner. Okay? Always. Most important. You greet their shrines, you greet the house owner. Do not neglect anyone. Don't allow anger to consume you. It will erupt out of you, and that's the Obona that comes out. And don't degrade others. Don't talk about other people's religion and how they're practicing their religion and this. Let them do what they do. You do what you do. All right? So let's get some. You have some thought questions you want to put out? Or I think I got some if you want to start.
No, I just wanted to, for this particular Babaluaiye session. So the theme is spirituality is healing, and healing is spirituality. So how does spirituality affect the mind? How does spirituality affect the body? And how does spirituality affect the spirit? So that is what we are this particular Babaluaiye ritual is going to be addressing, or has addressed, or will be addressing. So I just wanted to.
That's good. Any thoughts on that? So maybe what we can do, let's define spirituality.
Spirituality. So I would say that spirituality might be different from spirit, but although spirit is the root word. But when I think about spirit, I think of like spiritual entities and deities and those sorts of things. But when I think about spirituality, it encompasses a whole lot more than just like the deities. It encompasses like your day-to-day living. How is it that you see the world? How is it that you react to the world? What do you have in your environment that provides you a sense of balance, that provides you a sense of encouragement, that supports you in those things that you need? So for me, it's spirit is like, you can call this spirits, but then you need to be able to practice spirituality. It's on a more consistent, daily, everyday type of thing.
And it's about the internal aspect of who you are as a divine being, right? And the relationship that you have with yourself and with others. And when I say others, I'm including nature. I'm including the ancestors. I'm including the forces of nature, so it's about relationship. And that internal relationship that that's transforming, right? Because when we think about spirituality, we're thinking about ways of transforming and enhancing and elevating. Any other thoughts before we?
I would say how you view the world on an emotional, physical, and a mental level, that you put that into practice every day. And for an example, if you have a habit of getting up and doing your meditation every morning, mindful thinking, looking at your body in terms of making sure you're taking care of your body health-wise, food, etc. So it basically encompasses how you see life and how you move in life on a daily basis. And I guess that's why they say, particularly in there's no religion in Africa, just spirituality, because people live spiritually. Things that they do, how they eat, address their ancestors, or they eat. It becomes a way of life. And that's how Ile basically helps guide how you treat each other, how you treat people. That's how you get to be mental, emotional, and physical, how you live.
And so, like, what comes out of spirituality?
Compassion. Compassion.
Love?
Yeah. And
Positive thinking. Go ahead.
Who's speaking?
And one word.
And it's just recognizing the unseen. The unseen. When you get something happens and you get this feeling that something is happening, that something is happening, that's your spiritual self speaking. Your consciousness telling you beware, watch out, something's getting ready to happen, or take your time, or go slow, or don't go there at all. So you have to listen to yourself, your spirituality that's within.
Yeah.
Community.
And don't be afraid, Mother Taylor would say. Nothing beats a failure than to try.
So out of that, I want to give
Yeah.
this opportunity. Out of that really comes our reality, right? Our way of being, right? How we are, the values that we hold on to, right? Because it's out of those relationships that become, okay, let's honor this way once a year. Let's honor the birth of a baby. Let's honor someone getting married and setting up a household. Let's honor someone who's coming into this plane. So this is how we begin to live as a people and expand. Knowledge is not knowledge expands, right? The knowing is always happening, right? And so we have to give room for that. If we think that there's no more knowledge to gain, we are creating knowledge. We create knowledge, right? So when we think that, it's only that way, we're not allowing that Kuumba energy to come in. So we have all these principles based on spirituality, ways of being, the way that we are with each other, the way we are with nature, the way we are with our ancestors, right? So anybody else want to add? Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
I think what I was thinking that correlated for me in the stillness and how that's required to heal is that right now we're actually in retrograde. And so one of the things about retrograde, I always say, don't go against the grade, go with it. And in retrograde, they tell you that it's a time for you to be still, it's a time for you to reflect. So it goes up until the 29th, but I think it's ironic that you're doing this right now, and you mention it, is that, and I feel it too. So if I'm trying to do too much, things won't work out the way that I want them to work out. They're backfire, and it's saying stop what you're doing. Now's not the time. It's something that can be taken care of another time. You need to just be still, and you have to catch yourself. Because for me, it's easy to just keep on just going, but actually trying to catch myself and say, be still. And there's things that come with it. When you don't be still, stuff happens. Stuff begins to start happening. So that stillness really resonates with me. Yeah.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say?
It resonates very well with me. I had, invasive surgery recently, and I realized that the quiet was so important to heal. The quiet is so important to heal. Because I never thought that day would come where I would find myself complaining about not having enough of it. and I experienced that in the hospital. My first 2 days out of surgery, I had this night nurse. She would not stop coming in my room. I literally felt like it was a revolving door on my suite. Yeah. So, and then I remember that feeling of when I know I slept through the night. You think it's so minuscule, but it literally could be, I cannot lift my arm like this right now at 3 p.m. on Monday, but if I go to bed early enough, and I wake up, when I'm good and ready to wake up and I get out of bed, I would be surprised I could just completely lift up. It's so small, that repair.
And it is scientific.
Yes.
It is scientific. It's very, very true. Thank you for sharing.
Well, I think stillness is something I really have to work on, because I feel like when I was growing up in Trinidad, living in Trinidad, I used to be more still, more calm. It's like America, I don't know how to be still. I don't know how to be calm, because it's go, go, go all the time. But when I was growing up, there's a saying, if you don't know how to slow down, life will slow you down. Going, life will slow you down. It's like you're going to break a leg, break an arm, or some spirit will slow you down. So it's something lately I've been trying to go to bed early. Because I don't go to bed till 11, 12 o'clock. So I've been trying to go to bed early.
That's early for some of us.
Exactly. We got to change that, because you have to rest to heal. We're talking about healing today, but we have to sleep. You have to go to bed early. Because we going to bed later and getting up early. We're not getting rest.
Exactly.
And there's no way you will heal if you don't rest. So that's been something I've been
We talking the truth about the truth.
I have found that if I go to bed early, I sleep longer, right? But if I go to bed late, I wake up early.
Yes.
And I don't get as much rest.
Yeah. It's very true.
Yeah, there's a rhythm that's being interrupted.
Yeah. Look, we did work yesterday, and I went to work Friday night. We're talking, and listen. But it's the times that I make this, because everything is a choice, right? Everything, and I know it's a choice. When I make the choice to go to bed early, I get up early. I get so much more done. I'm like, there's a formula to this. There is a formula to this, and I'm able to get more done. So yesterday when we came back, I told Mother Audra, I said, Mother Audra, I have to go to the store, because when I left there, doing rituals just take a lot. And I came home, did what I needed to do. I was in bed, sleeping, by 8 something. I spoke to her 1 minute and she tried to call me back and I was out. But I went to bed early and then I got up like 6:30 this morning, which is a late time for me to get up, but I felt so rejuvenated.
Of course you did.
So we've got to there is a formula for it. To give what we need to give to each other. I need you to take care of yourself. I need you to take care of yourself. I need you to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I need all of us to take, so that we can bring what we need to each other, to this sacred community. Because if your husband, your wife, your boo, your whatever, got on your nerve and you argued him down and or her down and you cussed your neighbor out, and then you want to come and be in this space. Something you're bringing that into this space. You're bringing all that you are into this space. But when we rest, and resting is healing, resting is rejuvenating, we bring that into this space so that we can administer healing onto each other.
And thank God.
Thank God.
That's somewhere to go.
Huh?
Thank God we have somewhere to go to heal.
We always would have this space given God. Yeah, even if I leave, I'll leave this space for you all. You will always have a space. You always have a space. Now you don't think that you're the only people that use this space. Other people come and use this space, okay? All right. So anything else, Baba, so we can kind of...
No, that's it. I've said what I had to say.
So, anybody else? Can you all add anything? We didn't hear from any of the Orisha. I'm sure you all have some.
Well, you didn't hear from me because I was resting. But to that point, I bring the levity, but to that point, it is a skill to be able to rest amongst chaos.
Ashe.
Because when things are chaotic around you, and you can maintain the balance so that you can be in a restful state of mind, you can react to the chaos in a much better way than other people who are running around and doing other things.
And if I can add to that, I think for me, because I had the opportunity to leave the country most recently, growing up in the Rastafarian community, we knew America as Babylon, the land of confusion. So having the opportunity to be in India, where I was for the time that I was, and coming back here, it's a rat race. You could feel like, oh God, I just got back on the hamster wheel. And it's just, and I'm telling you, you have to fight. You have to fight. And that's where I guess the meditation and the prayer comes in. You got to be so intentional about just saying, you know what? I know these things are happening around me, but I got to put my foot down and just be and just be still so I can respond. Because I tell you, I mean, once I came back, I just felt like I feel like the world is like spinning. I'm like, the days are going by so much faster since I've been back, and I'm like, how? I'm like, they're in the future. I was ahead in time, but as soon as I got back here, it was just like. I gotta keep moving. So man,
and before you know it, it's like, where was I?
Yes. Find the difference. You see the difference when you come come back in.
So, okay, thank you for sharing. How about you two real quick and then
Can I say
I'll tie
something
it up.
about?
Can we, Mother, let me finish and then you can close it out. You can close out the thought for us. Okay.
Anything
You don't
short
have
and
to-
sweet.
Yeah.
Looking at me. This brings a lot to mind. I think resonates with me just about making choices. Everything's a choice. Everything's a choice. Everything's a choice. And making different sorts of choices and the power of the word no and the power of really just honoring yourself. You know, some people I've learned, you know, they might just have a certain capacity to do certain things and just navigating that, but really just really connecting with that place of self-care, of self-love, of self-respect, self-honor, and like not just talking about it, because talk is cheap, talk is easy. You know, growing up, my mom would be like, less talk, more action. And so, you know, I've been thinking about this, and it's like joy in action, contentment in action, peace in action, you know, to lovingly embrace what you need to lovingly embrace and to lovingly detach from all that no longer serves you. And how do you do that in this place, this Babylon? How do you do that? So that's just...
See, we need you to share.
Yes, I'll say, I don't know, part of me like thrives on that rat race. I really, when I get to New York, when I get home, I feel the energy and it's just like a pull that I'm just like, yes, I'm ready. And then there is, you know, the travel to other places and seeing how people can just be still. I'm just amazed because a lot of times I'll say, you know, to my husband, I'm like, I'm not doing anything right now. He's like, yes, you are. You're just relaxing. So just relax. So I'm trying to balance that out, and it's a work in progress. So each day, each moment by moment, trying to make sure that I am leveling it out, and that not only for me, but for my children to see that you know, that'll take time for myself and time for them or family or whatever it is. But walking in joy, doing that which is like giving my heart joyfulness, and making sure that's a part of my life.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Before Mother Audrey finishes, Baba, you want to say anything?
Oh, I was just thinking, I have to work on being still. Because I'm feeling like, oh, it's something I need to do, you know, all the time.
Always.
And my wife said, well, relax. You know, you don't have to feel guilty about not doing anything, because I'm always going. It's something I need to do, someplace I need to be, somebody I need to talk to. So I kind of don't sit for a minute and just deal with me. And I have to work on that.
Thank you for sharing. Did everyone get a chance? Oh, did you want
Hello. I was gonna say, this society will trap you into thinking that if you're not actively doing something, there's something wrong with your work. So what I recently had to learn is that resting is productive. Because when you rest, you can reflect and become your best self, and not only can you serve yourself, but also the people around you. So that's my tip.
Thank you. How about you, Imani?
Rest. I think rest is important, and I think it's playing out in a deep level for me because this is my first child, and so I'm so busy moving. I Zoom on the metro. I teach, and I feel like I'm in a space where I'm transitioning of balancing out, taking care of myself, but also learning how to take care of another being that's gonna depend on me. And I think that silence and being still is gonna be a long part of that journey, especially during the first crucial months when he's here. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Maraja.
Well, what I was gonna say, I was not gonna say.
Oh, you're not gonna say?
But I think the word that I would like to leave on the floor is preparedness, being prepared, and being alert and paying attention to what's going on around you. And I just to give an example of what I went through. I was in the work world, I'm retired now, but you can computerize your action, your body, and your mind, and cannot explain later on what you did all day. I used to go to work, and what got me to thinking like that, driving the Beltway, when I get to my job, I couldn't remember anything I saw on the way to work because I was in automatic mode. You can put yourself in automatic mode. So you need to be prepared in terms of that quiet time in the evening. Reflect. I don't go to bed without reflecting on my whole day. Everything that happened that day and things that I was going to do the next day. I make a list every night of what I have to do the next day. And that's a part of being prepared in your life when you reflect on what you've done that day. You know, people you meet, if you've had attitudes or something happened or you ran into somebody that, so that's a part of spirituality, being prepared. You put yourself in a computer mode, you don't really know what you're doing because you're on automatic pilot. So being still kind of keep you into what's going on around you. Always pay attention to what's going on. I be so concerned about our young people walking around with computers and stuff in their ears and listening to music and talking on the phone. They don't know what's happening. That's why a lot of our children become missing. You know, because somebody can drive right up on them, and before you know it, they're gone. So you gotta be in the space where you are.
Thank you for sharing. So we talked a lot today about Babaluaiye, who he is, what he's teaching us, by the way he existed. And we talked about the theme of spirituality is healing. Healing is spirituality, and we kind of centered around rest and the importance of rest, and rest is revolutionary, right? Because you know our great women, and I think Bell Hooks and others wrote about this, that rest is important. It has its space, right? It has its space, and then you're ready to work. It's not that you're resting all the time. No, we just can't. That luxury is not us. But, so we did a lot. So these are thoughts that we can take into our community, people that we are involved in. You know, take some of this back and see if we can create, you know, some thoughts of really curating rest in our lives, right? So I want to thank everyone. I think you all are going to be doing some other things. I would say maybe hold off on that. We could do that maybe when we come on the 6th, and we'll just maybe invite some other people to do the lighting, right? Yeah, and we have some food for you all. I thank you. So we're smaller this year, but the energy was certainly there. Energy was certainly there. But I want to, before we close, I want to give Baba. Can you share anything with us on what you've been doing?
It's that what you're doing, you're reestablishing by doing this in advance, and when people participate in the program, you actually open up portals to the ancestors around through the blood and the bones, through the stillness and the quiet thought and reflection. Because you have to remember is that we have been on many paths But the true path is getting back to the authentic ancestral self by being still. Because when you're still, the blood flows to the bones and through the neurons, and it opens up portals connecting to the past and the future.
And on that note, and that is his area, really. He's speaking from his areas here. So thank you, everybody. I love and appreciate all each and every one of you. I want to thank Baba Obasanjo and his leadership in this year's Babaluaiye. I was able to step back more than ever, and that was
Are you going to be
good.
stepping back in again, though?
And I also want to thank Iya Olashunde and Iya Oyamayawa and of course Baba Ogunseguto for curating not only today's event but really looking at Babaluaiye. So Babaluaiye is coming up. Prepare. All of you should have gotten how to prepare your homes and things that you need to do. Rituals, what I say about rituals?
Don't waste it.
Don't waste it. This is a time for renewal. This is a time to reset. This is a time to just say, okay, all that I did before, I mean that. This is what I mean going forward. And then you be that. You be that action. All right? So, all right.
And let's thank Ia for always.
She was like, you need to. Oh. I'm like, I'm not trying to be down there until they're ready. So God bless you all. Thank you so much.